Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for Season 3 of the CRC Virtual Velocity Porsche Cup. We are racing at a track that I think everybody's a little familiar with, so let's take a look at the calendar and see what the drivers are up to this season. It'll be the Red Bull Ring, Sebring International, Spa-Francorchamps, Monza, Watkins Glen, Boot, Road Atlanta, 40-minute sprint race in the Porsche Cup 992 with fixed setups. And we've got some exciting racing action coming at you in just a few moments' time. The drivers are getting out for the qualifying session, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But first, let's take a look at the prizes that are available. 2 Elgato Scream Decks, one's a mini, one's an XL or a standard version with the 12 buttons or 15 buttons. And then we have iRacing gift cards available as well. So thank you to Calypso Racing community for providing these prizes for all the participants or the top 3 finishers. And we'll have a great time trying to determine who's going to come out on top. The practice session looked like it was pretty close. I'm sure qualifying is going to be just as close. Let's take a look at the main screen and get right over to it, folks. Got a lot of good-looking drivers here tonight, but first, let's take a look at the race details. The CRC Virtual Velocity, the Calypso Racing community, week 1, this is going to be at the Red Bull Ring, Austria, Spielberg. Track length of 2.66 miles, temperature 76 degrees Fahrenheit, altitude of 2222. Keys to the race that we have are nail that start. Leading down in towards turn 1 is a heavy braking zone. Make sure you have practiced that entry towards turn 1 with cold brakes, cold tires, and from a standing position as well. Heavy braking opportunities, that will be turn 1 and turn 3 of Remus, the uphill right-hander. Make sure that you absolutely nail those corner entries because how imperative it'll be to make passing opportunities possible there. There will be plenty of passing opportunities leading down in towards 1 and towards 3, but making sure that you get set up out of the final 2 corners will set you up for turn 1. Making sure you get set up for turn 3 starts all the way back at turn 1. So it is a little bit of a ebb and flow that you've got to manage, especially when people are in equal machinery. Making sure that you avoid track limits here at the Red Bull Ring, especially coming out of the final 2 corners, will be imperative to your race. Make sure you avoid those track limits and avoid getting any slowdown penalties. Managing the tire temps, also very important here at Red Bull Ring. High-speed circuit, we're expecting to see around 90-second lap times here. So the drivers best manage their tire temps and their brake temps as well, and that all starts with the brake ducts. But we have fixed setups, so not much can be managed there except for your hard pressed right foot to control the gasoline pedal, and then your hard pressed left foot to control the brakes. So be careful, and it's all up to the drivers to determine who's going to come out on top. Thank you very much to our partners ASN and TTASA for joining us here tonight. Really appreciate all the love and support that we are able to garnish for this community. Let's start looking at the times that people are setting. And Manuel Ramirez tops the charts with a 132.34. Peter Arundel in P2 with a 132.62. Only 2/10 back from that pole position time. 3/10 back is going to be Andrew Marsan, Adam Pinheiro, in 4th place. Michael Ross in 5th place, setting a time. Scott Pinheiro in 6th. And we have Morne Duploy in 7th position. Benson Sunday, Matthew Lazari, Jaden Harrison, Amir Hosen, Lewis Ramilton, Declan Daniel, Dominic Charles, Nigel Pollard, and Hoylan Ochoa will round out the participants here tonight. Want to say again, thank you very much for joining us from green to checkered flag, folks. Really appreciate all the love and support you guys are willing to offer the CRC community. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff to provide an excellent viewer experience for those to follow and find out about the CRC and potentially get involved in the race that we have in store for everybody. Jaden Harrison tops the charts 132.23, and he warps back to pit lane for now. We're looking at Benson Sunday, as it were, and Benson Sunday is rolling in 10th place, as it were, driving the 868 car, and we're just waiting for a time to come rolling through for them. Just a few moments, we'll probably get that time rolling in for Sector 1 from Benson. And it's looking pretty good right now for Benson. Looking at Hoyland Ochoa now. And switching over to Andrew Marsan. We have just about 1.5 minutes left in this qualifying run, folks. The drivers better get the hurry up and go on sooner rather than later to get these qualifying times in, because we only have a limited amount of time remaining. Oh no, and there is an off for Pinheiro. Let's look at Charles now. And Charles is sitting in 8th place right now, currently with a 133.66. About 9/10 off the good from Jaden Harrison's pole position time, that 132.23 that is to be beaten. Adam Pinheiro, though, going a little bit faster on that first sector, not improving through Sector 2. Can they nail Sector 3 to find major improvements? We're going to keep an eye on Pinheiro, see if they can nail the final 2 corners. Avoiding track limits here is going to be absolutely crucial. Bump down into 6th place from Sunday, as Sunday goes up into 5th, and Pinheiro not improving on that qualifying run, will have to stay in 5th place. Actually did improve just enough to get past Sunday there. And that's going to conclude the qualifying run here tonight for the CRC. Very short qualifying run, just 10 minutes, a handful of laps for the drivers, and then we're back out to take the green flag in just a few moments' time. Stand by, folks, while we get the drivers ready to get gridded up and we'll be right back at you with some more racing action. In just a few moments' time, we will be ready to get rolling and take the green flag. We've got to finish the drivers. We've got to let the drivers finish up their qualifying run first and foremost, and then we will get ready to take the green flag. Let's take a look at the results for the qualifying run. We still have a few drivers out on their runs. Peter Arundel actually looking to improve. The driver in third position right now, still on a valid lap, although I'm not sure that will stand. Purple sector 2 for Arundel. See if they can keep up the pace and consistency through sector 3. Oh no, and that'll conclude their run with a purple sector 2 though. It was looking pretty good. Michael Ross, still waiting for him to roll back to the pits before we can get the results going. And that will be it. Let's take a look at those results. Here are the results for qualifying. Jaden Harrison, Emmanuel Ramirez, Peter Arundel, Andrew Marsan, Adam Pinero, Benson Sunday, Michael Ross, Dominic Charles, Mornay Duploy, Scott Pinero, Hoyland Ochoa, Declan Daniel, Nigel Pollard, Matthew Lazari, Amir Hosen, and Lewis Ramilton are going to be the drivers taking to the start. 16 drivers, 16 participants. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Now let's take a look at the grid that we have set up. Same order, obviously. Jaden Harrison, Emmanuel Ramirez on row 1, Peter Arundel and Marsan on row 2, Pinero and Sunday on row 3, Michael Ross and Dominic Charles on row 4, Monet Duploy and Scott Pinero in row 10. And the race is underway. Excuse me, folks. And that is a great start for Jaden Harrison as he covers off the inside line, but moves over to the racing line quick, fast, in a hurry. Marsan looking like he jumped up into P2 for just a minute, but leapfrogged only into P3, as it were. Marsan's trying to get an additional position made on the cars adjacent to him. That'll be Emmanuel Ramirez he falls back to for now. That's the Calypso racing car, number 11, on the inside, going for a move on defense from the Wolf of Adam Pinero from behind. It's looking all neat and tidy for most of the grid right now. Arundel trails Harrison by 0.6 of a second, and it's awfully close amongst the grid right now. Let's take a look at the intervals, see who's close to whom on the racing circuit. Less than 0.3 separates most of the drivers right now, so it's still anybody's ball game on lap 1 of this event, folks. Beautiful pack racing here. Single file is the order of the day. Adam Pinero in the Wolf livery car from Trinidad and Tobago in the 828. Looking forward right now. On the defensive is going to be, I believe that'll be Benson Sunday. Yes, that is Benson Sunday up ahead in the lead of this little pack of trio. But not too far up the road is going to be Marsan up into P4. Emmanuel Ramirez down 1 position. Hoyland Ochoa up 2 positions. And Nigel Pollard actually down 3 positions from the start. Adam Pinero looking like he wants to make a move on Benson Sunday up the hill in towards turn 3. That'll be Remus. And can he make a move? No! Dominic Charles almost runs into the back of Adam Pinero, narrowly avoids disaster there. Now he's going to have to battle it out with Michael Ross, the number 151. And that'll be the white livery on the inside line leading down and towards turn 5. Should be Slosh Gold. Take a look at Benson Sunday here in just a moment as he is getting close to, no, we're going to look at Pinero as he gets past Benson Sunday. That was quick, fast, in a hurry. They did a good job of negotiating that pretty quickly amongst themselves, doing a good job. Pinero doing in some good work. He's back to where he started this race into P5 right now, but had to battle for those positions pretty well. Peter Arundel up into P2, gained one position in front of Emmanuel Ramirez as they inverted their positions, and he's actually keeping in touch with Jaden Harrison. About a half second separates them right now, but Emmanuel Ramirez wants that position back, looking pretty grippy right now through the final couple of corners. Into Schlossgold, he looked pretty grippy there. And the real question is who's going to get the best run coming out of the final corner leading down in towards turn 1, because that's where moves can really be made or moves can be lost. Emmanuel Ramirez from the Alpha Sim Racing Junior team, not happy with the third position right now after qualifying in second. Wants to work his way forward back up into that points paying position of second place, but it might take a little bit of work to get up there as Aaron Dell puts down a 132.83. And Emmanuel Ramirez is actually faster by a 10th on that previous lap. Last lap, fast lap being Jaden Harrison's time, 132.58, looking pretty spiffy himself. Dominic Charles and Michael Ross going after it, leading in towards Remus. Up the hill we go into the deep braking zone, and it looks pretty nip and tuck for now, except for Declan Daniel lurking behind by 2.6 seconds, battling out with, I believe that'll be his teammate, Oylen Ochoa. A little wide for the 151 of Michael Ross. Dominic Charles in the 333 closes down the gap pretty substantially there. Driver from Trinidad and Tobago, excuse me. .132.190, new fast lap pulled out from Emmanuel Ramirez. Like I said, the driver is got some passion beneath him right now, and he's trying to drive this one forward. Benson Sunday getting passed by Dominic Charles, and a little bit of bump drafting potentially going on as Michael Ross, Benson, oh my goodness, 3 wide into Remus does not work. But they've somehow made that one work and stick. Benson Sunday in front of Dominic Charles, Michael Ross, and Declan Daniel in the 9th position right now. Amazing stuff. That was a pretty great overtake. Emmanuel Ramirez able to get by Peter Arundel through Schlossgold. And looking forward at Jaden Harrison back by 1.46 seconds. Arundel on the up and up right now. Still, 3rd place is where he started this race. 3rd place might be where he finishes it. Keeping an eye on so many battles at the same time. This is a great grid of drivers. So many close pack races going on at the same time. Hard to capture them all. Take a look at Matthew Lazzari right now, driving the gray Oracle number 23 as he chases down Oilen Ochoa out in front. 0.2 of a second separate them, going over to the optimal racing line, leading down and towards turn 1 up the hill. They go over the sausages, and Matthew Lazzari got a great run coming out of turn 1, mounted the sausage curves just enough to carry some extra speed and momentum. This might be a move going into Schlossgold turn 3. A big look up the inside, slams on the brakes, able to come over and run over Oilen Ochoa to the runoff area, and that'll slow Oilen Ochoa down. But that is Porsche Cup racing at its finest. Very clean overtake, very well maneuvered. Good job overall. Emmanuel Ramirez closes down the gap on Jaden Harrison down to 0.4 of a second right now, but opening up to around 0.6 of a second for now. It's kind of slinking back and forth through the braking zones. Oilen Ochoa disconnected there for just a moment, but he is back, the number 8 driver for Calypso Racing. Pinero Sunday Ross with personal best laps on that previous lap, 132.6, 132.8, 133.2 for the 3 drivers respectively. Ross getting close to Charles now. And then also, that'll be Declan Daniel getting involved in this 3-way menage a trois. They're still side by side coming down in towards Schlossgold. We all know that the optimum line in a battle is going to be the inside line. And the 31 licks the stamp and send it on the 151 of Michael Ross, who's now down 2 positions from where they started in 7th place. Declan Daniels up 4 positions from where they started in 12th. Looking forward, Declan Daniel chasing down Dominic Charles, driver in 7th, separated by 1/4 of a second right now. Little kick of the rear wheels coming down in the penultimate corner. Through the final corner we go, and mount the runoff road that's available to you coming out of that final corner. And the run down towards turn 1 looks like a big gap between the pair of drivers for now. Both of them mounting the sausage curve very well. Michael Ross not mounting the sausage curves, perhaps wanting to preserve his tires a little bit more than the drivers around him. And the gap is too big to make a lunge leading down in towards Schlossgold. Let's check out Oilen Ochoa as they chase down Lazzari. 0.3 of a second separate them, but it looks a lot closer coming through Remus. And a little too deep for Oilen Ochoa coming through Remus into Schlossgold. Overcooks it again, spins it around for Oilen, and that's not going to be the overtaking maneuver he was trying to prepare. Scott Pinerio gets by, and so does Lewis Rambleton. No, Lewis does not get by in that same breath of fresh air. Let's check out Dominic Charles, because Declan Daniel is working the rear wing right now on the 333. Who's been brewing for the past lap or so. Will he make this stick towards the inside line leading down in towards 1? He's a little too far back, right now. And mounting the sausage curbs and potentially getting track limits will be Dominic Charles. Sunday is up the road by around 1.3 seconds. Declan Daniel chasing down Charles here on screen. Charles leading in the 333. Declan Daniel in the number 31. Pinero getting close to Andrew Marsan, the driver in 4th position and 5th position, respectively. Oh, Peter Arundel, yellow flags for them. Is everything okay with Arundel? Yes. Presume that was just track limits there. And it looks like Pinero was able to get by Andrew Marsan, but Marsan's not done with this conversation. Coming out of turn 1. Stuck a wheel well along the inside, but couldn't make the move stick back. Leading down towards turn 3 of Remus, up the hill, 14% incline. Both drivers on the brakes very neatly, and it looks pretty tidy between the two of them. Previous lap, it looks like Marsan was actually 0.3 slower, and that allowed Pinero to get closer than ever to make that attacking move coming down the straightaway on the front side of the racing circuit. Silver Turkey, thank you. It's pronounced Pinero. Thank you very much. Oh no! And there goes off Pinero. No, Pinero goes through. I apologize. That is Pinero going off. And Andrew Marsan goes through. Take a quick recap at what happened to Pinero. Just stuck a wheel off into the kitty litter there at turn 6. And that will ruin his run coming through the fast twisty bits. They're still glued to each other, nose to tail. Coming out of turn 2, up the hill in towards turn 3. A big look to the inside line. Doesn't want to jump and take the leap of faith just yet. Sold the dummy to the number 11 of Marsan there just a little bit, as Marsan went a little wide in anticipation of running him wide and deep. Still glued to each other right now. Let's see if we can go on board very quickly with Pinero, excuse me, the number 828. See if he can get this one set up. Doesn't go for the late break lunge. Quick downshift into 3rd, up into 4th, back down into 3rd for the final corner. And it looks like Marsan's going to go a little deep and wide coming out of the final corner. This might open up an opportunity for Pinero coming down in towards turn 1, or will he wait until turn 3? Closes down the gap by a little bit. Marsan goes over the sausage coming through turn 1. Nose to tail still. Hugging the right side, hug the left side for turn 2. Slight kink there. Heavy on the brakes up the hill towards turn 3. Good passing opportunity here, not taken. assuming he's a little too far back to make that one end up working. Thank you very much, Silver Turkey, for being here. Appreciate the love and support. Coming down the hill in towards Schlossgold, off Camber Corner. Tries to move over to the inside line is Pinero. Can't find the daylight there to make that one stick. Now, looking again to the inside line for the following corner, left-hander. It'll be Roush and Worth. Both drivers cutting across the track as much as possible to shorten up the chicane there through after Worth and towards Rindt. Most importantly, Jaden Harrison getting involved in a little squabble with Emmanuel Ramirez now, coming through turn one, nose to tail, separated by just about a tenth between the pair of them. Switch back over to the side-by-side battle between Marsan and Pinero. Pinero gets in front of Marsan coming down the front straightaway. Over to the leaders, though. It looks like Jaden Harrison just got passed by Emmanuel Ramirez, leading down in towards Schlossgold. Will there be a snap back from Jaden Harrison, a.k.a. Jay, the DWR Simcope's coach setup driver? And it is a late-breaking maneuver and a little bit of a hip check for good measure into Emmanuel Ramirez. Bumps him out, slows him down, and that'll be all she wrote. Jaden Harrison back up the road by around a second. Checking in with Benson Sunday as Andrew Marsan got slowed down a little bit on that previous lap. 0.3 separating them. I've had the pleasure of seeing Jaden Harrison drive not only a GT3, but now I've seen him drive a Porsche Cup twice. And the man is absolutely unnaturally quick. He is an alien amongst men. Emmanuel Ramirez gets a yellow flag. Presumably that will be an off track. Halfway through the race now. Oh no, and Emmanuel Ramirez, that'll be the end of his race, excuse me. He crashed. Let's take a quick replay of what happened to Emmanuel. Leading in towards one, mounted over the sausage, went a little wide there, and then just parked the car. And that'll be the end of his race. Super unfortunate to see that. Silver Turkey, it looked like he parked the car. So I don't believe that would have been a disconnection. I believe that would just be... I think that was just a quit. Because he came to a halt before he even got to turn two. Otherwise, his car would have still stayed rolling, I believe. Declan Daniel goes down pit road. It'll unleash Marsan and Benson Sunday to battle it out. Declan Daniel serving this pit stop now. Amir Hosen getting by Scott Pinero down the front straightaway. Declan Daniel coming out of pits now. 9.15 second stationary, 41.18 second transient time total. Either way, he could have taken a pit stop if he had incorrect fuel, which I believe is required for this race. If I'm not mistaken, we are running 40% fuel load. The drivers will be required to take a pit stop. Benson really chucking it into the penultimate corner and the final corner. Trying to chase down Pinheiro out in P3. Dominic Charles goes back through the pits and will tumble down the order. One of my favorite things about leagues like this is forcing a pit stop in a short 40-minute race, turning it into a mini endurance event. And that's what it feels like right now. We have some pretty substantial gaps throughout the field, but the pit stop cycle will negate a lot of those, forcing drivers to get bunched up and packs forming once again after the pit stop cycle. Benson Sunday chasing down Pinheiro in P3, the 828 driver, but out from that battle and into pit lane is Sunday and Marsan as well, the Calypso Racing driver. Slamming on the brakes, getting the pit limiter activated. Michael Ross trickles in behind also to the pits. Jaden Harrison decides to stay out, has not taken a pit stop yet. Peter Arundel, Adam Pinheiro, Matthew Lazzari into fourth. None of them have taken pit stops yet, so it will be a cycle. Declan Daniel getting past Amir Hosen. Down the straightaway. P7 and P8 still there, up for grabs. Seeing around that 41 second pit lane time and around 8.98 to 9.76 for the pit timers. Keeping an eye on the timing tower for the closest gaps that are available to us right now. It'll be Hoyland Ochoa and Nigel Pollard. Battle for 9th and 10th currently. Separated by half a second. Pinheiro in third comes down pits. Lazzari down the pits as well. Then we have Arundel and Jaden Harrison up at the tip of the spear, not taking their pits yet. Nigel Pollard with a late move down pit road. And Pinheiro almost runs on the back of Arundel coming through Remus. Headlights on for safety, of course, from most of the drivers. And it looks like Pinheiro has taken a pit stop while Arundel has not. So Arundel going quite a bit slower than the rest of the pack right now. Last lap being a 135.67 from Pinero, and the previous lap from Arundel being a 132.44. Arundel gains the lead of the race in front of Jaden Harrison, not taking a pit stop. That is actually not Arundel in front of him. I apologize. That should be a back marker who gets out of the way. That'll be the 44 of Lewis Ramilton. Jaden Harrison down 16 seconds or so from that pit stop. Took a little bit longer than most drivers. 41.47 pit lane time. Pit time of 10.35 seconds. Benson Sunday chasing down Pinero. Fourth and third still up for grabs. The final step of the podium with just about 11 minutes remaining on the clock. Declan Daniel battling it out with his teammate of Andrew Marsan. Number 11 and the 31 close together on the racetrack. Separated by around 0.3 of a second. Arundel comes down pit lane and will surely inherit P3, promoting Adam Pinero forward, if I'm not mistaken. Whereas Pinero on the racetrack. Coming out of the final corner now, Peter Arundel coming down the pit exit. This is going to be fairly close, if I'm not mistaken, because there comes Pinero. And it's not as close as I anticipated, separated by around 4 seconds. But Declan Daniel and Andrew Marsan are battling it out with each other. Ochoa into pit lane. 133.9 from Lazari there. And that'll be the final pit stop call from Oilen Ochoa. Pack battling resumes after the pit stop cycle. Teammates battling against teammate. Declan Daniel and Andrew Marsan. Benson Sunday separated by 0.8 of a second from Marsan behind. And Sunday chasing down Pinero by 0.3 of a second. Who's got the better run out of the penultimate corner leading down in towards the final corner. Looks like both drivers are going to mount the runoff area of the penultimate corner. Into the final corner we go. Nose to tail between the two drivers. Will they go defensive leading down and towards one, or will this be a send moment? No, not too egregious on this time of asking. No moves to be made, but the exit out of one is looking better for Declan Daniel. Gets by Andrew Marsan just barely, but the positions are definitely going to switch back coming in towards Remus, unless he is later on the brakes. The 31 slams on the brakes, gets it slowed down, and the position is his. The number 31 of Declan Daniel is promoted up into 5th position overall. Nigel Pollard chasing down Monet Duploy. Battle for 14th and 13th. Separated by 0.2 of a second right now, but it'll get a lot closer as we get closer to Remus. as it looks like Nigel Pollard is positioning himself towards the inside line. He's got a full car width along that inside line, but a switchback engaged from Renee. Does a great job of keeping that one calm, cool, and collected, leading down in towards Schlossgold. He's going to have the inside line, which is the better attacking line, where you can run your opponent kind of deep and wide towards that gravel, or park it on the apex as he does into Schlossgold. We all know the inside line turns into the outside line for the following corner, and Mornay is not looking too good. Drifts a little far out wide, and Nigel Pollard from a long way back makes this one end up working in his favor. Mornay Duploy down a couple of positions off the start of the race. Adam Pinheiro chasing down, or getting chased down, excuse me, by Benson Sunday in the 868 at Schlossgold side-by-side action. And that'll be Declan Daniel getting involved in the mix. A three-way squabble now. Coming down into Roush, into Worth next. .868 leads over the 828 of Pinheiro, then Declan Daniel in the number 31 behind. Arundel safely in second place, 5 seconds up the road. Whoa, late pit stop call for the 828. And Pinheiro is going to make his second pit stop of the night? Question mark? Potentially a fuel issue for Pinheiro. Five minutes left to go, and then we'll get into the interviews as quickly as possible, folks. A little bit of a wiggle there from the number 31 of Declan Daniel getting out of Remus. And something must be terribly wrong for Perino's car, because he's been in the pits for 1 minute and 15 seconds at this point in time. Pit time of 57 seconds, 60 seconds now. Not looking good for Pinheiro's run. Mornay Duploy chasing down Nigel Pollard after that squabble, getting set up towards Roush. Carrying a little bit more speed and momentum, driving the number 38. Can he carry it through Worth? I think he does carry the speed better. There's no passing opportunity until we get down towards turn 1. He's got to be patient now. Covering off that inside line will be... Oh, or maybe not covering it off. Nigel Pollard goes deep and wide into the penultimate corner. Comes to pit lane for a second pit stop of the night. And I believe some of these drivers may have miscalculated their fuel and throwing a wrench into their ball game. Benson Sunday into third position right now. But 7/10 back is Declan Daniel. Chasing in fourth place. The driver has gained 8 positions from the start of this race. Started in 12th position, now up into 4th. Can he find third position? A podium points paying position will be awfully handy for him in this championship. 3/4 of a second down, and coming closer as we get towards one. Number 31 of Daniel closes down the gap on Sunday in front, the 868 driver. Slinking back at turn 4, Schlossgold, though. Half a second is the gap separating two of them. Gap coming together and separating pretty rapidly, surprisingly now. Can Declan Daniel close things out with just a minute left to go in the race? Where is Jaden Harrison on the racetrack? He's about 21 seconds up the road right now, just crossed the line, so this should be the white flag of the event. Drivers will get this final lap, and that will be all she wrote. So white flag, checkered flag due to the timer. Jaden Harrison, Peter Arundel, Benson Sunday. This will be the last opportunity, really, for Declan Daniel in fourth place to try to get a podium position. Will he be able to close down the gap enough leading down in towards Schlossgold? I don't think so. He might be a little too far back. Maybe he can force an error from the driver in front of Benson Sunday, but it'll be a hard press sell right now. Looks towards the inside line. Doesn't close down the gap nearly enough to make that one work just yet. It'll be 0.2 of a second. Now there's really no passing opportunity ahead, but it'll be Jaden Harrison coming through the final couple of corners now. Penultimate corner leading down into the final corner. Jaden Harrison has run a flawless race from start to finish, and that'll be it for him. Checkered flag and the big glass of champagne will be his. Peter Arundel in P2 had a very exciting race with Emmanuel Ramirez for a little while until Ramirez called it quits. P2 is his, and a drag to the line between Benson Sunday and Declan Daniel will be third and fourth respectively. Then we have Andrew Marsan in P5. Declan Daniel, biggest gainer of the race with 8 positions gained overall. Pretty fantastic stuff there. Marsan in P5. Matthew Lazari will round things out in P6. Scott Pinheiro in 7th place, followed by Michael Ross in 8th place. Then 13 seconds back from there, we have Oilen Ochoa in 9th. Coming out of the final corner now. Four seconds back will be Amir Hosen and Monet Deploy. Rounding out your 10th and 11th, Dominic Charles will be your last driver to cross the line in 12th. Let's head back over to the lives. Let's head back over to the booth screen, folks. And we'll get the replay loaded and get some interviews going in just a few moments' time. Stand by while we get our interviews rolling, folks. Having difficulties with the replay file. We might just have to pull drivers in as it is. Mr. Benson Sunday. Hello, Mr. Sunday. How are you, sir? Stand by 1 second. We're on the wrong scene. I need to go ahead and add in the Discord audio. How are you doing? What a fantastic drive you had.
Yeah. I'm all right. Just trying to get some of the adrenaline out still.
Absolutely.
Driving this car takes so much focus. Like
the
really incident points.
They're really momentum cars, aren't they? So if you lose your focus and concentration for one corner, you're going to have problems later down the road, right?
And that happened to me early in the race. I don't know if you early in the race, I was behind Adam and Andrew, and they were battling a little bit, and I caught up to them. And then I just made like a couple errors, and that just threw off the next 3 or 4 laps I had.
Yeah.
And I had to like fend off people behind me. And then save tires, and then try not to accumulate incident points, and then eventually try to pit before the pit madness, because I wanted like a clear pit entry to try to maximize pit entry and pit exit.
Pretty good run of events that you ended up having, Benson. Now talk to us about that focus and concentration. What was the most challenging thing for you to focus on throughout this race?
Mainly not like getting incident points, not overdoing it on tires. I am not Jaden. I cannot abuse my tires and then go fast after, so I need to save my tires. So I was just mainly trying to minimize incident points, because I would need them later on for when other people had many and were trying to avoid it. And also like just trying to save the tires to not like spin out and stuff. I'm trying not to lock up, rolling back the brake bias every 10 or so liters to make sure that I don't lock up and that kind of stuff. It's just like a focus. It's just so hard to focus.
100%. I could definitely see that being one of the major issues here, but you pulled off a great drive coming out into P3 overall. Is there anybody that you want to thank or anybody that you want to mention before we let you go and we pull in the next driver?
I want to thank everyone that showed up tonight. Firstly, everyone also thank you for hosting your race and streaming it and doing a good job on commentating. And yeah, just basically thanking the whole CRC community. We have a very tight, close knit community, and they help out everyone, including me, a lot. And I got faster through driving and getting experience with them and that kind of stuff. So I just want to thank the guys that came out tonight and the Calypso Racing community, and you, of course.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful night and make sure you stay safe out there, okay?
All right, good night. Thanks, man.
Good night, brother. Let's grab Mr. Arundel next. Peter.
Can Helen add some battles? Right.
Oh, sorry. I pulled you mid-conversation, Mr. Arundel. How's it going?
Oh, sorry. I'm good.
Good stuff. What an amazing race that you had coming out into P2. Did you expect it?
No. I know some of these guys were going really quick. There was someone who was in second, and I had a little spin in turn 3, and I figured, well, let me just try to hold on to this P3. And then it looked like he got a slowdown and a black flag. And I don't know why he left, but he and Jaden looked like they were having a good battle up ahead.
They
And
sure were.
I was hoping maybe that action would have been able to bring me back towards them, but unfortunately it didn't, and he left. But I mean, after that spin, my tires were overheated for quite a few laps, so I was just trying to not spin again and keep it on track. So I'm glad I was able to do that and bring home the P2.
Yeah, great job keeping it calm, cool, and collected, especially after a major spin like that. It's got to be hard to recover. Talk to us a little bit about your focus and concentration. We just heard from Benson about his concentration laps. Did you have any moments where you really weren't sure what was going on, or you may have had a lapse in concentration that made you make a mistake like that?
I don't think it was that. It was just these cars are very just a little bit too much throttle, especially there. There's a bump as you come out of that corner. There's like a bump, and if you just have a little bit too much throttle on it, the tires spin and then the car comes around very easily. So that's basically what happened to me. It's just I was a little over enthusiastic, and after that I was like, all right, let's take it a little easier coming out of there from now on.
Well, you did a good job of bringing home P2. Thank you very much. Is there anybody that you want to thank or anybody that you want to mention before we let you go?
Definitely want to thank my family for allowing me to do this, and then also CRC for putting on this series. Definitely, I think these cars in the level of difficulty in driving these cars, it'll help improve all of our driving. So after this, getting into an easier car, we'll be able to go even faster than we were before. So thankful to have this series to do.
100%, brother. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you. Have a good night and stay safe.
You too. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's going to close things out for us here for the Velocity Season 3 Porsche Cup run. Let's take a look at the calendar one more time to see where we're headed to next. It'll be Sebring International, Spa-Francorchamps, Monza, Watkins Glen, Boot, Road Atlanta to round things out for this 6-round run for Virtual Velocity, brought to you by CRC, the Calypso Racing Community. If you like what you see, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. I'd really appreciate that. Help the analytics out and get us some more viewers and potentially some more drivers as well. Thank you for joining us. Thank you very much for staying tuned. I'm Sagar Bakshi, aka The Real High, taking you from green to checkered flag. And as always, make sure you stay safe out there. Bye-bye, folks.